I don't think I thought about it, but my instinct and my guts told me. I just knew this is what I want to do. So, it told me that I need to get more involved with people. It's very personal. So when I go meet the people, I take it like my own project, so I get involved. I'm aiming high, much higher than what people even thinking. So I think that passion is what really bringing the project to us.
And that's why I think in working with Dai, it's so important. And one of the reasons that brought us up here. Because we didn't want to just work with someone that was simply going to take our drawings, however animated and good we think they are, and simply do them. The ability to sit down with Dai and create something, use his mind. I mean, he lives wood. So to have him sit down, I design in wood, I love designing in wood, I love designing truss work, but I don't do what he does. And not for a living, he's touching it all the time, feeling it, understanding how it goes together, how it expresses itself best.
Went up to the Alan Mackey School of Log Building in Prince George. Ended up taking a course with Alan. It was a graduate course after the initial course I took. And that's really where our connection with Dai started, was through log building in the Mackey School.
I met Alan when I was, I think, 19 or 20. I was exploring, my future. So I was looking for something that not many people do. First thing I did was that I bought a ticket to Hawaii and then spent 2 weeks in Hawaii finding out what's going on, and I picked up the ticket to San Francisco, then explore the US, spent 2 weeks in New York. Then I entered into Canada through, I think, Montreal. I came all across west, and people picked me up. They were just on the way from Prince George and after log building school. So I was exploring all that 6 months, what do I want to do? But when I heard about log building, that was the first time and a different feeling. It really clicked on me that I felt this is what I want to do.
Late 90s, there were a number of Japanese that came over and found the Mackey School somehow. It was pre-internet, so most likely through his book, and they came and took courses with Alan and went back to Japan, and like so many of us, built themselves a house, and their neighbor noticed what they were doing, and the next thing you know, they had a log building business. And the demand, exploded in Japan, and then pushed us all really hard on quality. Up until then, log building was pretty rough, and Japan, was very conscious about quality. And that's something you're going to notice with Dai. The level of detail, the attention he pays, is something that's culturally embedded in Dai, and was when he was log building, and is presently now in his timber framing venture.
I was inspired by trips to Japan, actually. My wife is Japanese, and we stayed in some old, ancient roikans, where their original timber framing, hundreds of years old timber framing, was on display. And that really inspired me to get involved in that craft. My first experience with Dai was one of our residential or urban residential projects in Kamloops. And I arrived on the scene, and it was such a professional and beautifully installed piece of craftsmanship. We were kind of used to working with rudimentary log builders, and this is our first experience with a real professional craftsman.
I introduce Daizen Joinery as a company that is owned by Dai, a man of Japanese descent, and a production manager of German descent. And every time I say that, there's kind of a chuckle, because it's like putting the two together and everybody kind of goes, Japanese meets German, how can it not be good?
During my time in Germany, I was also teaching at the master school, and I got invitation from the UBC in Vancouver, doing some training for timber framers, specialized in cost estimating and calculation. So we had a seminar here for the BC LTBI, and that's where I met Dai.
Went out for a typical Dai dinner at a sushi restaurant and ate our brains out. And I think at that point we kind of determined that it was going to be a real good fit for one another. So, and then I came up here and kind of got a feel for the facility and the people and the employees, and yeah, I was in.
Dai kind of fascinated me from the beginning. He was completely different than the typical company owner, and he had a strong will to grow the company, but a very controlled growing. He knew exactly what he wanted, and it pretty much matched my idea from a perfect company.
第一に第三が有言実行するからおのずと働く人たちもその第三の真面目さというか真剣さをどことなく感じて一生懸命になってると思うんですよね。これがもしカナディアンの社長だともう多分もっとふわーっとした感じにはなってると思うけど、あとは毎回新しいことに挑戦していけるので飽きが来ないっていうのはあると思いますね。それがまあみんなクルーが残りたがる一つ、まあ一番大きいのは仕事が切れ間なくあるからというのが一番大きな理由じゃないかな。
High-end properties, so mountaintops, waterfront, and golf courses. It's kind of where it falls into. So you end up working in places like Hawaii, Jackson Hole, Yellowstone, Big Sky, Whistler locally is kind of probably best known, but we're working in those high-end resort markets.
やっぱりいろいろと考えているんで、やっぱりこっちも考えないと言い方悪いかもしれないですけど勝負にならない、会話にならないというか、そういうのを感じますね。ここまで考えてる人はなかなかいないんで、それなりにこっちも準備をしないと一緒に仕事はできないから。
The other thing that brought us to Dai is definitely a good thing, which is basically word of mouth. I did not find him on the internet, for example, or by looking through different industry associations and things like that. And it's just one of those, this word got to this person, got to this person, got to this person, came up through the chain of communication there, and we decided to seek Dai out.
Well, I mean, Dai has always been hands-on, and our projects are collaborative. For our purposes, that's fantastic because we get an extra dimension. Whereas with possibly another timber frame company, you won't get the design input. Dai has had a lot of experience in Japan and around the world, and he can contribute design ideas and enhance our ideas.
It's only two directions I can think. Either go to sort of a commodity or specialty. So I chose the specialty and custom. And so going there, it's all about people, and all about careness, really. How can I do that? It starts from me. I need to really look after people first.
一番はデザイン性ですかね。日本の建物っていうのはやっぱり決まり事みたいなのに縛られてることが多いような気がして、デザイン的にはかっこいいのも当然あるんですけど、やっぱりこっちの方がやっぱデザインに関しては、自由な感じがして、かっこいいと思います。簡単に言うともう大前に限って言えば材料はもうずば抜けていいですね。材料はも ちょっととんでもないですね。アメージングです。
We are constantly searching for something new, something better, something exciting that will keep us ahead of whatever market curve is out there.
One of the gentlemen was from BC Wood, and I understand it. I know the level of quality of the work that we do, but when he stands up there and he's from a nonpartisan, nonprofit association and stands up and introduces us as being the finest timber frame manufacturer perhaps in the world, that there's a lot to be said about being put on that kind of a pedestal.
Dai is a great designer. He has a lot of ideas, and with design I don't think necessary about the design of the timber frame. It's more the design of the details. And every new design, he's always thinking forward, what can we do better? And always kind of inventing things that are not on the market right now. And then we are looking into this, how can we develop this? What can we do?
Dai instead has focused on that with a laser-like precision, the amount of testing he's done on products and coloring and samples and the investment he's made in paint mixing and stain mixing equipment, and he's gone back and forth from different products. It used to be I taught him about finishes. Now he teaches me about finishes because he's taken it to a whole new level.
We kiln dry, we cut, we shape it, we pre-assemble it. I mean, so stuff that's, a little bit more complex, we're pre-assembling it, pre-finishing it, and the pre-finishing is a huge aspect of it because with wood, if it's not sealed on all 6 sides, there's going to be a problem in terms of moisture getting into the wood and that. So the whole pre-finishing, and about 95% of what we do here goes out pre-finished.
One of the problems I found in past experiences doing timber frame was getting timbers finished and getting them so that they're going to grab the stains and last. And the problem is quite often we're doing those on job sites, and you'd have tents put up and there'd be a wind and there'd be a storm, and it was always a bit of a struggle to get that. And having large timbers, you need a large indoor space to have that stained, and they had it in a climate controlled environment, and that to me was kind of sealed the deal. It was like, these guys know what they're doing.
I think what makes my setup unique is now I'm a business owner, setting all the goals and directions, but I have that work experience myself. And I run the machine myself for a couple of years. And I did the design, in a CAD design myself for a couple of years. I did all of these, so I can run the operation very detailedly. I can get involved, and because I know what each steps and what process takes and what people are facing, even their challenge, I think I understand that.
お客さんが欲しがってるものを作れる会社かなとは思いますね。妥協という、妥協せずにだから妥協せずにお客さんの欲しがるものを欲しいものをお客さんが出したい金額で提供できるところじゃないかな。無理これはできないっていうことを言わない。そこが一番他の会社とは違うかな。
Well, first of all, we usually take them into the shop and show them the difference between a quality timber frame and let's say a rudimentary log builder or a hybrid structure.
It's embraced from the top down for sure. I mean, everybody that's in that shop, they all understand the expectation.
他のティンバーフレーム屋をちょっとあんまりよく知らないんで、ちょっとあれになってしまうかもしれないですけど、まず僕自身はこの大然が持ってるこの能力というか可能性というかというものはものすごい大きなものを持ってると僕自身は思ってるんです。キルンもあるし、もちろんバンドソーもある。そんでいいプレーナーもあるし機械もある。 多分あらゆるものがものすごいいいものの状態であるんで、これをうまくこなしていけば、すごいいいものというかすごいいいチームが。
And on the other hand, within the last years, we created just an awesome team. Having this different cultures here in the company is such a great way to spend the day. Working with these guys is always a challenge, but in a good way. This is something so unique at Daizen I've never seen in another timber frame company before.
It's all about process. So our talent, our ability is to put as much of us, the process and scope of work to make things happen without problems. So if we experience one problem, then next job we make sure that won't happen.
What Dai brought to us during the design process was he was able to visualize how important the steel would become. And Dai was able to take that mandate and turn it into reality. So he gave us many different options for the trusses and how they could look. So what stood out to me about Daizen was Dai's ability to put a team together around him. So the personnel that we worked with and my guys worked with were all very good at their individual jobs. Their CAD designer that we worked with is fabulous. He came out to the site a few times and got to understand what we were doing.
Everyone needs to be able to count on the other, to know his strengths. And we have specialists for every kind of work in every section. The guys are really specialized in what they are doing. They love what they are doing.
And I was given a great deal of confidence dealing with Jürgen and what his team did in the shop. So right from the guys I met right at the beginning when they were still in Salmon Arm to the guys that they have there working today, it was really confidence inspiring.
Well, Dai's company is super professional, and with the CNC production, everything is accurate. It's almost furniture quality.
It's all about people. Each task or each work, even what you do, or other people do, is not actually that complicated. I take, what I do is not that difficult to do, but letting all other people do what they are capable to do and connecting that together is very tough. But that's what makes it, successful.
And he had lots of suggestions. If you want to spend more money, we could get them radio frequency dried, and that may not be the best solution. He had all kinds of technology available to them that they were able to educate us about that we didn't know existed, and then take options for how much more would it cost to do that, how much less, and make some sense of it and come up with a solution to work for our clients.
In his shop there's several key builders who are Japanese trained timber framers that bring a particular skill set and aesthetic. There's also a real focus on training and passing knowledge between people. So there's the young people working there are, Dai's culture is really helping them build a skill set and build a career in an industry rather than slotting them into a place on an assembly line.
I've got the people working, right? Designer, production manager, and carpenter, everybody. The best thing can happen to make that happy house is they know who they're working for. And I tried that by sharing information. I tell the people, this is who the client is, and if I have a picture, I show that to them. I see this, that if the client comes and talk to the guy, they make a connection. So when the time comes, the production, the schedule and this and that, they actually put that more in personal than others. If you have a couple jobs, that one job they met with client, they actually have a personal connection to that. So I think it's very important that client comes
So when we meet someone like Dai, it's like, it's like ding, the little light goes off. We go, okay, let's take this name down. Dai is one of those people that there's something about meeting him personally and having him talk about what he does and the materials he uses it becomes self-evident that he is a real find of quality and integrity and commitment and passion relative to what he's doing. That's what we look for.
When you meet him and get to know him, you recognize what an honorable man he is, and his culture, what he brings to a project, not only for his company, but just as a person. He's got some great touches in terms of rewarding the client for honoring him with the business.
What is a happy house? So it's not design, it's not this, it's happiness is what I actually care a lot. I'll make sure the structure is a happy structure.
He also spends a lot of time looking at what he's doing, introspection on what are we doing, how can we improve it. It's a constant process. In lean manufacturing, it would be sort of called Kaizen.
I think if we didn't have Dai here, we'd be hard pressed to find somebody that can give us that kind of input and service and client satisfaction. The client satisfaction we get from these things is phenomenal.
It's a great story for them to tell. I went up to Canada and I met with the guy and I walked through his plant. It becomes a great story for them.
The film is all about connecting. I want to connect, and it may help for people who cannot come, but I really hope that people feel it's important to come.